Welcome back to part two of one of the most fun videos I've ever made, which is showing the comparison between my human singing creativity spark session that I did before creating each one of these songs utilizing software called SUNO to take basically to reiterate what I mentioned in the last video, and this is sort of the preface. Basically, uh, it's as though I'm this spoiled rich kid, this a-hole rich kid, whatever, in the 80s. And I'm at home and I have a little cassette recorder, a little, cassette player. And I record into the recorder like na 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 or whatever. Bad, singing and whatever. In this case, being able to go in several cases and do editing, which I can't do it so easily on a cassette. Na 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 na. I probably fixed this one. Na. It probably was na na or something like that, and I can go with a pitch here and do a little fixing so we can we can change it. Na 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 na. But. Na, na. So you can, I pitch corrected just enough so that the AI would know it's one note and not another. But it's pretty bad singing and all. And it'd be like taking this cassette and then bringing it and having, spoiled rich kid, right? And taking it to this producer who has this recording studio set up, and there's an arranger, and amazing session musicians, the best in Hollywood, the best saxophonist and really good electric guitar players like George Benson's caliber, like really good guys, really good cats. Yeah, bringing the cats into the session, really good recording studio in Hollywood, not like fly-by-night small, home studio or something, but like a really good studio. That's what this sounds like. And you're taking this stuff and giving the cassette over and say, make me a hit, please. And then they do, they make good music out of it. So what we're going to do, what we've been doing with part one, and we're going to continue and hopefully finish it up in part two. We're already at track 7, so we should be able to finish it up if I don't blab too much. I did want to go over that in case somebody hadn't watched part 1. Now, na 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 na. What I'll do is I'll go to here with the feeder, and then we'll play what SUNO did. So here we go. No. And if you heard this already on the part 1, I apologize for the redundancy. Na 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 na. Starting out slow. Na. So na 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 na. It won't sound like it starts in the middle of the song. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na. I don't even remember. Na 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 na. That's enough for now. Here's a little. This is kind of interesting. What the yeah. Na 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 na. Okay. Na 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 na. Rum 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 rum. Rum, 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 rum. Now, this song is one of the more complex ones, and it tells me something, and I'm getting ahead of myself here, but it lets me know that when I do come up with something kind of extra special rhythm-wise, and it's not just like when I started with the earlier album, the last album, I did a whole album of the same kind of a thing. I was more like just nah, na 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 na, na, like just more like baby singing. And then this time I took a little more care to come up with things started kind of coming up interesting, and I'd get rid of some of the other stuff and actually take a little more time crafting this, thinking that these musicians are going to be able to do something better with something if I give them something better to do something with. I know that sounded a little weird, but here we go. I will play you play you like at least a minute of it, maybe. We'll play to it maybe to where it gets up to here, but it follows it relatively closely. Amazing. Exactly what I did. Pretty cool. Come on. And for the rest, you have to listen to the album. All right. I'm pretty happy with that. Brett's Breeze. On to the next one, which will be track 8. Okay. Yeah, I just went through some pretty close stuff. It's again, it'll get old eventually, but this is not old. This is incredible in the history of human civilization. I guess they call this like a watershed moment. This is truly amazing. I need to turn off my email. I'll bring you back. It's like this is a moment where I'd say when Steve Jobs went on stage and unveiled the iPhone and showed making that first call and showed the apps, that was a watershed moment in human technology history, certainly. In my life, when they introduced, this was before I was born, but my father wasn't there, but he was around when they introduced television. I think it was the 1939 World's Fair, maybe, or somewhere around there, and they unveiled the first television. Well, this is kind of along that line. Maybe not quite like the television and the iPhone, no, but all right, we're gonna go till 1/6. We're gonna go to 116, and then we're gonna play this. So here we go. La 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 la. So bad. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Ma 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 la 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 la. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Nut 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 na 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 nut 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 na 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 nut 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 na 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 nut 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 nut. Okay. Now, by the way, just to let you know, I have videos of the details of actually me singing and creating these. So it would be very cool. And also even writing the lyrics for those lyric songs. It'd be very interesting to take the title track. Once the album is out, then I'll know that it's somewhat protected from people stealing because I'll have it out first before a certain date, and then I'll release these videos. This video will not get out until the album is released. It'll be unlisted. But anyway, here we go. Let's listen to the output. Amazing. Yeah. Nut, 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 nut. It's such a horrible, horrible rich kid, entitled rich kid singer. Oh my God. It's not rich. I'm not very much not rich. But it's as though this is so good. It's as though this guy must be really rich to to turn this shit into this gold. He must really have spent a lot of money, which is hilarious because yeah, I won't even say how much I ended up getting this Black Friday last Thanksgiving. Oh, my phone. And usually that ringer is off. Anyway, yeah, these are all pretty much spammers, scammers, and whatever. But anyway, yeah. Let me go ahead and go on to the next song. Hilarious stuff. Okay, cutting to the chase on this one. One of the coolest reproductions on this is na 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 nut 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 nut. And yes, this is very babyish almost and really simple. And yes, it did much, much better. And I totally get that. But the thing is, before this, and what most people with AI music creation are doing is letting the AI do all the work and not putting any input. And what I'm trying to is justify how bad even this original stuff. But here's the thing: without this, we wouldn't have this. Which really is a beautiful thing. I'm going to be so bold as to say to bring to the world, to bring out to the world. All right, let's take it to 52 seconds. We'll play that, and then we'll play the output. Na 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 na. Nut 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 nut. Ba dun dun, ba dun dun. Na na na, na na na. Ba dun dun, ba dun dun. Da da dun, da da dun. Ma 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 ma. Da 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 da. Ma na 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 na. And then na na And you already heard that. All right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so that's enough for this one. I'm going to make a prediction. This one will be a good streamer. This one will get some traction. Of if I just have, I'm just going to make it. I mean, it's a bold prediction because might go nowhere. But the original, I think I didn't work. I would say it didn't work as hard. Well, I don't think it's as interesting as the one before, where I did those really interesting, I think more interesting musical phrasings. But what the AI what uh, what the AI did with what I gave it was that track may do better than the one before, but I think they may all do well. But here's one thing that's interesting, and we're going to go to our last track now. Uh, the interesting point about this is that um, it allows me to apply my curative properties, basically curate the AI with visuals, my titles of songs, and be able to present them through a distributor that I have signed up with. These are things that not everybody who works with AI music can do. So there's a potential for these to be listened to by lots and lots of people, and it's a wild situation to be in, because in my life I haven't been I purposely taken myself out of situations where I wait a minute through the storm, not trade winds, uh, where I'm not in a position of responsibility or have a responsibility to too many people. I mean, for better or for worse, I'm just not very good at putting myself into situations. Um, Singing. I think it's this one. This is our last one. Um, and this puts me in a position where I actually have to. I have enough people here. Let's see how many monthly listeners I have on Pandora. It had gone up to 160,000 monthly listeners. Last I looked, it was down to 156. Let's see what it is at now. Went back up a little. 158,000 monthly. That's absolutely incredible. Now, some of the biggest people, like Boney James or Kenny G, certainly, and so on, are into the higher hundreds of thousands, but they're not that far off. This is so I have a I have a listenership. I have people who are interested in my next album. I don't have people who've reached out. I had one person actually email me, pardon me, because you can find out, well, somewhere here it might say R.A. Ross, but if you go search Midnight Regatta Project and go to Facebook, you'll find my email address. Part of the reason I had that originally I put my email address there was because to be able to claim the artist on Pandora, to claim the artist so I can see the stats, I have to give them proof that I'm the owner of the band or have ownership of the name. So they ask you for somewhere on social media that has a copy of your email address there. And I could take it down now since I have the permission. Same with Apple and Amazon and, claiming your artist on Spotify. But on Spotify, it says you saw how many monthly listeners I have, 158,000 monthly listeners. Now, on Spotify, it's almost nothing, 65, as opposed to 158,000. And total streams, 639. But on Pandora, it's 2 or 3 more than that. Take a look. This is in 28 days. 463,000 plays. That's amazing. And look, since I started 3.5 months ago, 1.4 million streams. And it's incredible. The fantasy is like if you could do that many streams, if you could do 1 million streams a month, which is, well, that's still pretty close. But what if you could do 1 million streams in a week? Then I could make a living. 1 million streams like a day would be like, well, that's more than Kenny G and, but Boney James. Not necessarily people like, Justin Timberlake or Taylor Swift. I mean, they get millions of streams a day across many different platforms. But you get the idea that here in 28 days, come upwards of 500,000 streams, and Pandora at 639, not thousand, but total. Now let's see if we can change it to the whole year. Released 45 days. Yeah, I'll bring you back. Okay, this is total 1.3 thousand streams as opposed to 1.4 million streams. Pretty wild. Ari Ross is doing a little better. That's my other. And then Ari Ross over on Pandora is doing about 3,500 streams a day, as opposed to Midnight Regatta Project, which is doing 160. I remember when they were equal, and I have 600 and something songs of Ari Ross, and only about 145 or so of Midnight Regatta Project. And I remember when they were neck and neck, they were like the same amount. And then Midnight Regatta Project got a little more spins per day. Like it was, I think R.A. Ross was, somewhere around 4,000 spins a day or so, 3,500 to 4,000. And then I remember, when Midnight Regatta Project got up to that point, which would have been, so it was somewhere like at this time here, I remember thinking, wow, like R.A. Ross has 4,000 and this has, it's kind of edging up on it. And at that time I only had about 90 songs or 60 songs versus 600 songs. But then once it got to here, the beginning of March, it's only the beginning of June, March, April, May, June. It's only 3 months ago. It's crazy. Things just escalated, and now it's way better than the R.A. Ross numbers. I realize we're running out of time, so here is a little bit of this, and then we'll play this. I'll play up to 50 seconds. Here we go. No. Da-dum. Da 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 dum. Dun 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 dun. Na 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 na. Na la 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 la. La 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 la. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Okay. It decided not to have it go. I just was trying something else, and it intelligently kind of hinted a little at it, but not much. Good beginning though. Oh yeah. Very nice. Let me see if I can find something more rhythmic where it matched it. Okay, this into this is somewhat mirrored. I'll show you. Na 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 na. And then when it gets to here, dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Na 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 na. Okay, so to wrap this up, you obviously hear that some things have a hint. Certainly when it went dee, it was harking back to the beginning. It harked back to, and I, of course, repeat it here. Yeah, repeat that first section here. So as you heard through all of that, there are some things that are right on point, especially when I have lyrics, but then some of the interesting, different kind of experiments that I did with the instrumentals were mirrored quite well, in some cases very well, and in other cases not, with the SUNO output. And each song has enough of the original ideas in place to make it, basically ownable, copyrightable, whatever. We're almost out of time. But thank you for listening. I think it's quite a journey, and I think that I'm looking forward to the next album. The next album might be a country experiment. I've been wanting to do country, and I may do one country album and try writing country lyrics, which I've done before, and I think I have a little bit of a knack for. I don't know, but it'll be interesting. But thanks for watching. There is the journey. And I did it all in, I think, 2 videos for all 10 songs. Pretty amazing. Well, whatever. For me, the talkative one later